Ladies and gentlemen, the graduation ceremony will begin shortly. Please switch off your handphones and put them on silent mode if you haven't already done so. We have arranged for official photographers to take photos of all graduates receiving their diplomas. There is no need to come to the front to take photographs during the ceremony. If you wish to take additional photos, you may do so after the ceremony at the plaza. I will be inviting you to stand when the academic procession enters and leaves the convention hall. Graduates, please ensure that you have your admission ticket and identity card with you before joining the queue to receive the scroll box on stage. You will be issued with a card lock-on ID and password as you leave the stage. Please keep the card as you will need it to place your order for photos. Lastly, graduates, graduation is a formal occasion. Please show respect for our guests and fellow graduates in your behavior. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our guest speaker, Mr. Robert Michael Tomlin, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the 55th graduation ceremony of the Singapore Polytechnic. At this 14th session, we will be presenting diplomas and other awards to graduates from SP Design School and the School of Architecture and the Built Environment. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker this afternoon is Mr. Robert Michael Tomlin, Chairman of Design Singapore Council. Mr. Tomlin has been the Chairman of Design Singapore Council since September 2008. He also serves as Vice Chairman of the Asian arm of New York-based Le Parc de Neuflis, advises to European family offices. From 2000 to 2009, he was with UBS Investment Bank Singapore, where he held the positions of Managing Director, Corporate Finance, Branch Manager and Country Head, and Vice Chairman, Asia. From 1969 to 1999, he worked with the London-based Schroeder Group in London, New York, and Singapore. Currently, Mr. Tomlin serves on the board of Singapore Exchange-listed Olam International Limited. He is presently also chairman of the Singapore Repertory Theatre, a trustee of Singapore Management University, a director of LaSalle College of Arts, and member of the governing board of the Yong Siu To Conservatory at the National University of Singapore. Mr. Tomlin obtained his Bachelor of Arts degree in Modern Languages from Downing College, Cambridge in 1966, and a Master's in Business Administration from Harvard University in 1973. It is now my great pleasure to invite Mr. Robert Michael Tomlin to deliver the graduation address. Mr. Tomlin, please.
Principal and CEO, Mr. Tan Chun Sian, Board of Governors Deputy Chairman, Mr. Johnny Koh, graduates, parents, distinguished guests. Before I enter into my speech, I will make sure that in future anybody reading out my personal details does not tell you the years in which I graduate, because the mathematicians in this audience can work out that I'm a great deal older than any of your parents are at this point. But I must say I am delighted to be here today, particularly as the chairman of the Singapore Design Council, to welcome the new graduates from the School of Design and the School of Architecture and Built Environment at the Singapore Poly. As all of you know, Singapore Poly was an absolutely seminal institution, the first architecture course offered in Singapore before independence, so you are the 55th graduating class, and in SG50 that's a very special place to be. I have a number of comments I'm going to direct to the graduands, but first, if I could just talk to the parents. I think you youngsters are so lucky that your parents have supported you on this journey in design. All of your parents know that up to your O-levels, there were homework to be done, there were grades to be got, very often with parents helping you on the way. And then the child decided to go off and do architecture or design. And what do they come home with? And I was lucky enough to spend a morning in the design school and drop in on a couple of classes. And the two I went to see, one was a class called Project Icarus, where in my terms these guys were making paper aeroplanes which they were throwing off bridges. And the next class was one where they were doing a topography class, and everybody was being persuaded to just shift letters a wee bit around on the screen. And I imagined what those children, when they got home and the parents said, well, what did you do today at the Poly? What did they actually say to them? And I visualized some parents crying into their pillows saying, I've allowed my child to go off and do this completely gaga project at this point. So you graduates are the lucky ones. You're the ones whose parents stayed the course, backed your intuition, let you do what you really wanted to do. And there is a wonderful quotation which I'm sure some of you have seen. I'm not sure if the authors of it are here in this room, but when the Poly consulted with some parents, one set of parents said, trust their talents, talking about the kids, follow their passion, silence our own fear, SP is the place to go. And I thought it took courage to write that, and it took courage to live it out. I mentioned typography because I'm going to come back to it at the end of this thing, but if I may just take a moment to talk to you about one very special designer who's just done a project in Singapore and was in Singapore a couple of months ago. Who has been to the National Design Centre? There's a few hands coming up there. Well, please remedy that problem if you can, because we have a wonderful 50 years of Singapore design exhibition in there now. But we brought there a traveling exhibition around the life and work of a British designer called Thomas Heatherwick. He has just completed the building at NTU on the campus. You cannot mistake it. It's all curves in a place that's all squares. And the board particularly wanted those curves, and Heatherwick couldn't quite understand why, but they said no corners. So he built no corners. And he managed to build an absolutely remarkable building. He said it's the largest single structure he's ever done in his professional career. But his professional career spans the British Pavilion at the Shanghai Expo. He's done a new London bus. He has a wonderful folding bridge, which is like a snail. And he did the Olympic torch. If you saw the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in London, which was this extraordinary thing where all the individual pieces of the torch came together. He's been called the Leonardo da Vinci of our time. Now, I tell you about Heatherwick because in some respects he is where you designers, you young designers and architects might want to go yourselves. And I think what's very important when you listen to him speak, and he gave a wonderful talk at LaSalle, you need to find out what the customer needs. As you all know, what the customer says he or she needs and what they actually need may be very different things. And one of your jobs in design is to work out what's the wayang you're getting from the customer versus the absolute need. He's also a genius at working with unusual materials and making them do things that you wouldn't expect them to do. So this is not a place for people who want to do what the guy did yesterday and repeat it. He's always coming up with new solutions. Now, I think if I'm going to, for you parents, I'm not just telling how wonderful some of the good designers are. I've got some useful advice for your children, so bear with me at this point. And I'm hopeful that we have in our room here today some youngsters who are actually going to be world-class designers, world-class architects, and of whom we can all be proud. And I'm going to make 3 basic points, and then I'm going to finish by quoting from one remarkable individual who was put in the same position I'm in, talking to a graduating class. My 3 questions, and if any of you have ever heard Professor Tommy Coe speak, Tommy always likes to have 3 points. First is, what is design? But I'm going to stick in and under it, can my child making a living doing it? The second point is, what does it take to be a good designer? And thirdly, what are the challenges that you are facing in the world outside to which you graduates are now going, where you're going to have to apply yourselves? And if I can try and answer the what is design question, because I suspect some parents in this room are still asking what that is. We used to have a wonderful Japanese designer who was on our international advisory panel, Toshiko Kita. And his definition is of design. In the past century, the word design has gained global recognition. It is a key word that continues to evolve as human beings evolve. The word embodies a full range of meanings: functionality, safety, ecological concerns, the economy, industry, concern for the well-being of others, and communication. There isn't one easy way to encapsulate what this is. All of these points get touched by design. And interestingly, for many of you who look at design publications, countries that we admire as very strong in design, Denmark, Italy, Japan, all use the English word design. It's this strange box that you can't quite define. And I think the design is one thing. There is, beyond that, which I hope you graduates now understand, there is something called design thinking. And design thinking is the process where you dig down and find out what is the client's real problem and find a solution for a physical space or to create something where there is nothing today. I am going to do a little plug for something that I think is very important for design generally. There is a wonderful award in Denmark called the Index Award, and the subline under that is Design to Improve Life. And there are a whole bunch of good design firms in Denmark who suddenly found that they had underwritten the costs of this award, which is now a major force for developing design ideas to help the developing world and to deal with problems in countries that have poor health care, where you have inadequate lighting, whatever it might be. And we've looked at some of the awards have covered things like, you know that in Iran, women must wear the chador. The chador is a black garment, and if a woman walks on an unlit street, they are at great risk of being knocked down by a car. And these two young teenagers developed a reflective tape with Quranic script on it that they could iron onto their chadors, which allowed them to be seen at night. Now, if you think about it, that's an extraordinarily economical way of saving lives, and the design ideas that flow into Index, anybody in this room can send in a design to Index. It's an open competition. I'll be going to the awards in Denmark later this year. Now, I don't think I've answered the design question, what it is entirely, but I think the question for how can you youngsters feed yourselves engaged in the design area, and some practical advice for you. First, follow the opportunity. You may have done graphic design, jewelry, fashion, but if someone says, design a kettle, you design a kettle. That's what the man asked for, you do it. And like the Heatherwick example, you learn by doing. Don't get stuck in a particular rut that says, I only did this thing, I don't want to do anything else. A practical example of that is some years ago, the President's Design Award, which I'm sure all of you graduates know about, but we have every year the President's Design Award recognizes wonderful designs done by Singaporeans or in Singapore. A particular mention, we selected a miniature engine that goes into the Dyson vacuum cleaner, which is a very expensive toy if you buy it, but they used to have a chunky engine which was inefficient and used a lot of power, and they devised a miniaturized engine for it. This only happened because the electrical engineer over here talked to the mechanical engineer over there. The electrical engineer understood miniaturization. We all know how much computing power we now get out of an iPhone. 10 years ago, you'd have needed a big box to get the same kind of thing. The skills in miniaturization were then applied to a mechanical problem, and the design team collectively managed to produce a unique product. And I'm happy to say our jury spotted this thing, because you and I wouldn't see it. It's buried in the machine. But they recognized the quality of the design ideas that went into that. So reach out across barriers, take opportunities when they come. And if your parents don't already know it, they're not going to be accountants, your children. They're not going to come 9 to 5 and put on a clean shirt and go to work every day. A lot of the work in design is freelance. A lot of the bright ones here want to be self-employed. You will work on projects, you will work in teams. Employment is not consistent, but it's very rewarding. And I think the parents will have to get used to the fact that children work strange hours. They will dress very strangely if they aren't already doing it. And they are working out what is best for them. What are the things that they are good at, where they work well with people, and how to pursue the dream of what I call scalable design. Somewhere they're going to come up with a wonderful idea which they can then produce en masse. And graduates, be grateful when there's no work and mum puts a meal on your table there, because there's nothing to beat coming back to home and recharging the batteries when you can. But there is work out there, and for the best of you, not necessarily the academic guys today, but those who really start to build a portfolio, you will get international recognition. And when you get international recognition, you'll have a chance to travel, maybe work abroad. So have your portfolio ready. Be ready when you get the call, be ready to go. The next issue is, how do you succeed in design? And sadly, I can't point you to the specific exhibition because it's closed, but there was an exhibition in Nafa in Middle Road of the work of a Japanese designer called Sora Yanagi. And these are beautifully simple kitchen items that he develops, and he began life in a war-torn Japan where the only material he had to work with was ceramics. By the time he'd finished, he was designing road tunnels and big pieces of furniture. But everything he did had three great qualities: simplicity, functionality, and affordability. And he is a classic designer, and if you missed the exhibition, Google Sora Yanagi and you'll see what I'm talking about. He was a man who he went well beyond just being a simple ceramics expert. If you want to succeed, be willing to travel. And I'm not saying travel because there's no good stuff in Singapore. On the contrary, you are very fortunate to be born and to be educated in Singapore. Singapore, as a wise man once said, is a house with many windows. We have a window on China, India, Southeast Asia, the US, Japan. You're sitting in that house looking out at all these different cultures from a common base which is multicultural, and many of you take for granted that you mix with different races, people eat different food, people dress differently. Go to a single country, a single culture country, and see the difference, where you will, as an Asian, stand out in their midst. We have solutions to problems some of these countries have yet to define. But you have to look at these other countries and take a look at the problems they have and what design solutions they find for their problems. Part of that is that you may want to do more studies, and I urge those of you who do to look now at where to study here in Singapore. There's some wonderful university opportunities for you, and indeed abroad. And the Design Council has scholarships, very competitive, I hate to say, and I also hate to tell some of you who may not be necessarily the distinction students that we tend to focus a lot on grades. But if you're good, if your portfolio is good, you'll be surprised what opportunities there are for you. Another big thing for those of you not necessarily studying now is that you should be traveling with your work internationally to where the trade fairs are. Let's say you're a furniture designer. The big fairs are in Paris or in London or, in Milan. And we at the Design Council help young designers get out in front of the marketplace. You'd be amazed at how many of the named designers today started life with a little booth somewhere in Milan or in Korea, and they've made their careers from there. It's the best validation of your work is going abroad to do that. I do want a word for those of you who have yet to excel academically. That's a nice way of putting it. You aren't necessarily the distinction students today. But as I'm a male and I have two sons, I can assure you I know the male of the species takes a lot longer to get the message. But the point is, you're leaving here today with a lot of talent inside you which is yet to develop. It may come through further studies. It may come through practical work. It will come. It's not that it is not there. It is just it needs to be uncovered. And if I can give you a consolation, the former president of Johns Hopkins, which is a major university in the States, said that A and B students are great, but I really care about the C and D students. They're the ones who will be hungry, they will change life, and they will give back to society. And he meant specifically they will be giving back to my university. And it's very interesting to see that some of the gold medalists we're going to recognize today had quite troubled educational backgrounds, and it's a wonderful accolade for the Poly that you managed to help these guys find their focus and succeed as they have done. Now, my last answer to the question I posed before I give you this quotation from a really gifted designer is what are the challenges that you graduates are going to face in the world outside? And I think some of them you know. Singapore has an aging population. Singapore is not alone in that. Japan is further down that line. Most of the European countries have real demographic problems of an aging population, healthcare systems that cannot cope. So where we find solutions for dealing with the aged, allowing them to live out their lives gracefully and not exhaust the caregivers while they do it, is a very important task, and that is going to be a big opportunity for many of you. The second much bigger issue is you get into sustainability. And I think some of you who follow these things may be aware that the big consumer goods company Unilever has a completely new view of how they approach their mission as a commercial enterprise. And the chairman of it put it this way: our vision is to double the size of our business, reduce our environmental footprint, and increase the positive social impact. So the message is we're going to grow, we are not going to shrink, but we're going to use less of the world's resources to do it, and we'll be doing positive things for the societies in which we sell. That has massive implications of the formulation of food, the disposability of the packaging materials. As you would have heard, I'm on the board of a soft commodities business. We're rethinking how we make sure that we can tell Unilever where all the products came from that we sell them. And Nestle is right behind. So you will see some dramatic changes in name brand things you and I use every day in our lives here. There is another very important concept which some of you may have encountered, and if you haven't, Google it. It's called cradle to cradle. And for the parents who may not know it, this concept is that I make a product, I can then dispose of all of the components of that product in a way that is a higher use of that component than it was in the first instance. And you have to digest that thought, because virtually nothing that we use nowadays is something we can say that those principles adhered to. And if those of you who got electronic appliances knew what a messy business it is disposing of motherboards and things that have got plastic and different metals in them, you'd realize that the design industry has a huge task ahead of it to redesign products to meet that. I could go on, but time will not allow. You have a ceremony to complete. What I'd like to do is, if I may, give you 3 quotations from a graduation speech which was made by Steve Jobs. Now, I'm sure all the young ones here know who he is, and for anybody who doesn't, he was the founder of Apple and is the man that put all the smartphones in the hands of your children, so he has a lot to answer for. Sadly, he died of cancer a couple of years ago, but this is a graduation speech that he made at Stanford University. And as he said at the time, that was the nearest he's ever got to graduation, because he dropped out of college. But he spent a little time at Reed College in the west coast of the States. And if I quote, he says, "Much of what I stumbled on following my curiosity and intuition turned out to be priceless later on." He gives you an example. At that point, Reed offered the best calligraphy course in English, calligraphy in the country. Every poster, every sign on the campus was beautifully calligraphed. Because he dropped out, he didn't have to get any grades, so he just followed what he wanted to do. He learned about serif and sans serif, doing exactly what you guys were doing in the class there, varying the space between the letters. It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life until 10 years later, he built the first Macintosh computer. And he designed into the first Mac that love of calligraphy, the ability that you got to change font sizes and to change fonts. If he hadn't gone to that course in college, he would never have put that into the computers. And needless to say, the Windows system had to emulate the Mac functionality, which is why all of us nowadays have all the choices of fonts we have. I think there's a lovely lesson about you never know what piece of knowledge may be useful to you later. He then talks about learning from the hardships he goes through, because he was the CEO of Apple, but at one point was kicked out by the board of directors because he was viewed as disruptive to the process. I didn't know it then, but getting fired was the best thing that could ever have happened to me. The heaviness of being successful was replaced by the lightness of being a beginner again, less sure about everything. It freed me to enter one of the most creative periods of my life. Remember, this is before the iPhone and before the iPad. So imagine what being freed of his responsibilities did for this man. It was awful tasting medicine, but I guess the patient needed it. Sometimes life hits you on the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to love what you do. Your work is going to fill a very large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And you have to only do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. And he uses the expression, don't settle. Don't settle for second best. And like any good relationship, good work gets better and better. So that's how he learned from adversity. And finally, this is my parting word to you here. I am going to finish, Principal. That's all right, I'm finished. Your time is limited. Don't waste it on living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your own inner voice. Most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. He then finishes talking about a lovely book which came out in the 70s called The Whole Earth Catalogue. And he put out its final edition, and on the back page of this, there was the editors had put a picture of an early morning road, the kind you might find yourself hitchhiking on, if you were adventurous. Beneath it were the words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." It was their farewell message as they signed off. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And I've always wished that for myself. And now as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Thank you, Steve Jobs. Thank you for letting me talk to you today.
Thank you, Mr. Tomlin. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the presentation of diplomas to the graduates. This afternoon, we will be presenting diplomas and other awards to 233 graduates from SP Design School and 153 graduates from the School of Architecture and the Built Environment. May I now call upon the Director of SP Design School, Ms. Tang Su In, to present the diplomas. Ms. Tang, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates for the Diploma in Experience and Product Design.
Amelia Juliana Binti Jamin. Wei Kai Shun. Celine Chen Hui. Ching Le Ting Natalie. Chowdhury Julian Patrick. Chua Siu Li, Chai Jin Pei, Kelly, Edith Ng Si Pei, Eunice Chua Kiet Ling, Ho Yun Long, Kok Mei Rong, Lee Wai Ken, Sharon, Lim Zheng Jie, Liana binti Muhammad Yunus, Lam Yi Jun, Melissa Ho Wai Ken, Muhammad Faki bin Razali, Muhammad Farizul bin Mustafa, Ng Li Hua, Nur Akira binti Rosli, Nur Hazwani binti Muhammad Nasir, Nur Fadlin Fazira binti Abdul Manaf, Ong Zi Kai, Preston Josiah Matsuwaki, Siak Kwan Ying, Siti Nuashikin binti Termizi, So Shermay, Sultan Asharuddin Sultan Ayub Khan, Tan Si Ning, Teo Jin Mei, Teo Kia Sheng, Teo Wen Sin, To Yi Shin, Wong Hui Lin, Tisha, Yang Yu Qing, Yo Shu Ming, Yong Pui Yi, Yao Jie Yu, Gerald, Zaki Najib Talib.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates for the Diploma in Games Design and Development.
Sit Ting Peng. Amanda Teo. Benjamin Xia Wei-le. Chung Wei-jin. Douglas Sim Chun-yen. Elijah James. Gan Kim Hao. Go Wei Lun. Han Kai Kwang, Joshua. Ila Hazikin binti Muhammad Yazid. Jasper Tay Kai Wen. Liu Wei Chong. Lim Junta. Lim Yu Jie, Jasmine. Lim Zihao. Lin Wenwei, Sean. Liu Zuhan. Martin Chua Cheng Hung. Muhammad Farhan bin Muhammad Yusman. Muhammad Shazri bin Siddiq. Ng Shumin. Ng Wei Xiong. Oh Junyi. Ong Teng Yao. Raymond Teo Wen Rong. Ruben Yo Zi Hong. Ran Lim Jian Hao. Seng Wei Rong, Joshua. Speed Chan Jun. Tan Hao Li. Tan Jin Jie. Tan Ying Wen. Tan Zi Hong. 邱家厚、偷子浩、王俊杰 Sean、Yap Chuan Rui、
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates for the Diploma in Interior Design.
Chu Pei Ling、Jacinth Ong Jie Sin、Jessica、江万妮、莫凯森、Siti Adiba binti Abdul Halim、Tan Sin Hui、Ang Shuo Jian、Chan Yishan Joanne、Chen Zhen、Cheng Su Sin、Chiu Man Yi、江之卫、Qin Junjie、Cheng Hui Ru、Chua Wei Ling、丁梦怡、Arvina、Eva Natasha binti Zailan、Fan Wai Sing、Fan Wei Chiang、Felicia Francisca、Go Su Sian Angela、Gwendolyn Ho Chin Ling、Geraldine To Yi Ting、Ke Yu Chen、Ku Yvonne、Ko Fang Rong、Ko Hao Ming、Ko Tai Hom、 Kon Yu Ping, Kuganaswari Rajendran, Kwangwani Rebecca, Lai Fong Yin, Li Jiayu, Li Xuechin Daphne, Li Wailong, Leong Jiaqi, Lim Juehua, Lin Huang Zilin, Lin Ming Heng, Liu Ying, Lo Wei Jia Adeline, Mak Su Ying Melissa, Muhammad Alfi bin Junaidi, Maya's Amy Joy, Niu Shun Hui, Ng Chu Hui, Ng Chi Yin, Ng Zihui Paul, Nurdiana binti Imran, Nur Hanisa Te binti Ahmad Salfi Te, Nurin Shafika binti Eddie, Nurul Nazura binti Nazran, Hua Wei Liang Darren, Prabhavati Kovindaraju, Premala Rajasegaran, Rakesh Roy Joseph, Raymond Lu Hui An, Ray Tan Chin Hao, Xia Wei Zi Keith, Sharida Bibi Binte Muhammad Hussein, Siti Aisha Binti Ahmad, Siva Sandia Tirunau Karasu, So Yong Jian, Tan Jingyi, Julian. Tan Yixuan. Tan Ziting, Elizabeth. Tan Zhongning, Delia. Wee Take Ming, Anthony. Wong Jieqi, Eunice. Yam Yining, Irina. Yi Nang Tung. Yo Sin Han, Chestnut. Zheng Ying. Zheng Xiaoting. Zhou Jiasheng.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates for the Diploma in Visual Communication and Media Design.
Chen Fang. Francesca Fernandez. Jiao Jiayin. Tan Kai Li. Alia Tahira binti Ismail. Amanda Lim Li Xian. Amelia Tan Zi Jia. Annette Ko Jinghui. Celestine Ng Yan Ning. Chan Wei Xiong. Chia Hui Shi. Clarissa Mok Chi Yuen. Craig Wu. Fiona Liu Ya Qing. Feng Jiawei Cheryl. Geraldine Regine T. Ho Fang Ching. Jared Lo Chuan Tek. Geraldine Yo Hui Ching. Jesslyn Tan Jie Yi. Joseph Chua Jia Hao. K2. Khairul Azhar bin Ali, Ko Hui An, Kwe Ya Ming Melina, Lawrence Monica Anthony Mary, Liao Bei Valerie, Leong Hui Min Amanda, Lian Si-ying Sherlyn, Lim Kai-yu Keddy, Lim Cheng-on Marcus, Liu Jun-qian, Mei Hong, Mei Wu Rui Jing, Mervyn Neo Jia Jun, Mok Jia Man, Muhammad Izul Islam bin Juma, Ng Jialing, Nur Afika binti Surahman, Nur Amira binti Ismail, Nur Atika binti Ashari, Nurdina binti Osman, Ong Ting Chen, Poon Miao Ning Olivia, Radin Natasha binti Radin Amir, Rahima binti Abdul Rahim, Sim Yong San Sherman, Tan Li Li, Tan Yan Long, To Sing Jian, Y Si-ying, Wang Yi-kai, Yo Yu Wei Rebecca,
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the list of graduates from the SP Design School. Thank you, Ms. Tang. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now present diplomas to the graduates from the School of Architecture and the Built Environment. May I call upon Mr. Daniel Tan, Director of the School of Architecture and the Built Environment, to present the diplomas. Mr. Tan, please. The graduates for the Diploma in Architecture.
Augustine Joe Nerissa Lavelle. Almeida Christine Marie Maestro. Andre Wee Rui Ing. Andrew O. Wei Hong. Amrot Sun. A. Yu Mon. Bui Sheng Hui. Chen Wan Tong. Chiu Ziyong. Chu Yiling. Chua Jiaxin. Chung Pei. D. Belen Ranlo Justin Ladyong. Delphine Ng Wei Zhen. Dominic Song Guo Chen. Eileen Wong. Elijah bin Juraimi. Elizabeth Danielle Hardy. Evelyn Patricia Husandi. Farisha binti Nasir. Gan Gyok Fang. Gina Teng Yu Sin. Go Jun Yen. Hana Athira binti Muhammad Hanafi. Ho Cheng An. Ho Sung On Luke. Ho Wei Ye Jude. Hu An Ni. Ian Li Si Yuan. Iris Ng Jia Li. Jasmine Koo Hian Mei. Jiao Xuanli, Casey. John Tae Jo Han. Jonathan Ong Lik Kai. Joram David Go Shing Yu. Khairul Haziq bin Omar. Ko Bo Sheng Dylan. Ko Zong Hao Christopher. Ku Zihui Henry. Ko Li Xian. Ko Ting. Lik Wen Hao Daniel. Li Zhengyu. Leong Chao Tong. Liao Jim Xia. Li Chen. Lo Jiayi. Lu Chuanle. Lo Kai Yu Charlotte. Marcus Tan Zi Hao. Melissa Yap Xiao Ming. Mimi Amira binti Zainal Abidin. Muhammad Fahmi bin Nur Rashid. Muhammad Khairul Azhar bin Muhammad Fauzi. Nathaniel Yap Jia Siu. Nicholas Eo Siang Ta. Nigel Tae Pang Ting. Nur Hafiza binti Nur Hamidi. Nur Sabrina binti Abdul Rashid. Nur Shazalina binti Abdul Wahid. Nawei Ain't Zol. Ojazvi M. Kumar. Ong Yanling Mandy. Ong Zhen Hong. Pamela Wee Li Yi. Pan Ji Chang. Ho Jiaming Thomas, Pui Zhengye Joshua, Rachel Li Jiayi, Sean Matthias Sung, Xia Yanying Larissa, Sim Zhe-yong, So Junwen Sean, Song Yue Hong, Shifa Diana binti Ahmad Sanusi, Si Jiaying Athena, Tan Ke Han, Tan Pei Li, Tan Mon Jie, Tang Jia-yun Samantha, Tae Wan Ting, Terence Chik Wei Jie, Timothy Tae Zi Wei, Umar Abdul Aziz bin Ahmad Shamsuddin, Wang Ting, Wei Guangrui, Wei Ziyun Amanda, Wilson Go Wei Jian, Wong Pei Rong, Wang Zihan, Wu Han, Yang Xianyu Josiah, Yo Kai Lin, Yang Cheng Fu Thomas, Yang Hui Lin Jolin, Yu Piao Ping, Yue Wan Ling,
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduates for the Diploma in Landscape Architecture.
Che King Sui Ernest, Chiam Shu Yun, Chui Kai Ho, Deng Xinye, Go Jianghan Jeremy, Go Si Chen, Hu Qiro, Ip Wan Hei, Ko Teng Teng, Quan Zirong, Li Shirui, Li Xingqi, Li Wenlu, Lim Hao Boon Jack, Lim Zhe Xuan Frederick, Muhammad Shukri bin Matsuni, Nur Amira binti Muhammad Salim, Nur Atika binti Azmi, Nur Azima binti Aziman, Nur Faiza binti No, Pal Singh Kairondi, Hua Xue Ting Nicole, Shahira binti Muhammad Shirhan Ganesan, Tai Sin Tzu, Wang Ziho, Yao Ling Ling, Yo Che Shen, Yo Tu Fan Morgan,
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the list of graduates from the School of Architecture and the Built Environment. Thank you, Mr. Tan. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now present the prizes to our graduates for their excellent academic performance. May I invite Mr. Johnny Tan, Deputy Chairman of the Singapore Polytechnic Board of Governors, to present the following prizes. Mr. Tan, please. From the Diploma in Experience and Product Design course, the DBS Bank Prize, Esther Ng Yu Xuan. The Norton Prize, Bertram Yo Wei Ren. From the Diploma in Games Design and Development course, the DigiPen Prize, Casper Chua Yi Xun. From the Diploma in Interior Design course, the Interior Design Confederation Singapore Prize, Candice Chen Ting Yen. From the Diploma in Visual Communication and Media Design course, the 19 Blossom Prize, Ko Wan Sin. From the Diploma in Architecture course, the Singapore Institute of Architect prizes have been awarded to Aaron Lim Seng Yong, Joy Heng Si Ying, Wessie Owen Nee, the RSP Architects, Planners and Engineers prizes have been awarded to Kedek Brian Joseph Sanchez, Lim Hock Siang, the DP Architects Prize is awarded to Kenneth Chiang Chi Han, the Look Architects Prize and the Singapore Institute of Architects Prize have been awarded to Chin Min Che, the CSYA prizes have been awarded to Samantha Tan Hong An, Zulkanan bin Muhammad Zin, the DP Architects Prize and the Singapore Institute of Architects Prize have been awarded to Wang Chi Kei, from the Diploma in Landscape Architecture course, receiving the Cicada prizes and the National Parks Board prizes are Ko Man Yen, Andy Mok Shi Qi, that concludes the presentation of prizes. Thank you, Mr. Tan. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now present course medals to our top graduates for their outstanding all-round performance. May I invite Mr. Robert Michael Tomlin Chairman of Design Singapore Council, to present the medals. Mr. Tomlin, please. From the Experience and Product Design course, the DBS Bank Silver Medal and the Norton Prize are awarded to Brian Liao Yi Kwang. The DBS Bank Gold Medal and the Norton Prize are awarded to Ku Hui Ting. From the Diploma in Games Design and Development course, the DigiPen Silver Medal is awarded to Gabriel Chin Tian Yu. The DigiPen Gold Medal is awarded to Ng Jian Zhi. From the Diploma in Interior Design course, the Swan and McLaren Silver Medal is awarded to Tricia Li Hui Yu. The DP Architects Gold Medal is awarded to Yong Ming Jie. From the Diploma in Visual Communication and Media Design course, the Spikes Asia Silver Medal is awarded to Joy O Su Sien. The Asylum Creative Gold Medal Award is awarded to Tang Liang Ying. From the Diploma in Architecture course, the Singapore Institute of Architects Silver Medal, the Board of Architects Prize, and the Luke Architects Prize are awarded to Yo Liu Wei. The Singapore Institute of Architects Gold Medal, the Board of Architects Prize, and the Tang Guan Bi Architects Prize are awarded to Gan Chen Hui. From the Diploma in Landscape Architecture course, the National Parks Board Silver Medal and the Cicada Prize are awarded to Nantarak Piapi Monsith. The National Parks Board Gold Medal and the Cicada Prize are awarded to Alexandra Sheremetiva. That concludes the presentation of course medals. Thank you, Mr. Tomlin. Ladies and gentlemen, giving the valedictory speech this afternoon is Tang Liang Ying. She's a graduate of the Diploma in Visual Communication and Media Design. May I now call upon Liang Ying to deliver the farewell address on behalf of the new graduates. Liang Ying, please.
A very good afternoon to our guest speaker, Mr. Robert Tomlin, Principal and CEO, Mr. Tan Chun Hsien, ladies and gentlemen. The design industry is an unpredictable one. Every brief is different, and ideas don't just come when you want them to. Yet, the clock continues ticking, and the deadlines loom. Many times, you doubt yourself, and you wonder if you're up for it. My creative journey was probably no different from every other designer here. Tedious brainstorms, creative blocks, neglected stomachs, late nights, and sleep-deprived faces. We struggled to find ideas, only to have inspiration hit us at the oddest hour, when we're stuffing our faces with lunch, or at 4 a.m. when we're just about to hit the sack. Many of you would have been there and done that. Slowly but surely, our foundations were built, and we started tackling bigger scale projects. A team of us embarked on the SP Open House campaign for 2015. Having proposed a very tedious concept, the scale of deliverables we had to produce in the midst of juggling our FYP was daunting. We had so much doubts about meeting expectations and deadlines, but we soon learned that a head full of fear has no space for dreams. After 11 months, that dream was delivered. It was so surreal to see our designs mass-produced, printed large scale, and hung on the school towers. You would have probably seen them on the way into this convention hall. Of course, we couldn't have gone through these 3 crazy years without the support from the people around us. Firstly, our families. Thank you, Dad and Mom, for giving me your full support when I chose to study design over business. Thank you for all your love, and especially the food during submission periods. And to all the proud parents here, we don't say it often, but thank you, and we love you very much. Next, our lecturers, for always trying your best to create new opportunities for us to hone our skills and have our works displayed. Thank you for shaping us to be who we are today, freshly groomed designers of tomorrow. And lastly, our friends. To all my CF classmates who kickstarted this journey with me, my SD friends who ran this race with me, and the close friends who are just like family and always celebrated my achievements, thank you. As we move on to the next stage in our lives, be it work, further studies, or national service, we are bound to face new fears. But let's face it with confidence, remembering that doubts will kill more dreams than failures ever will. Thank you, SP, for an amazing journey. Congratulations, SD class of 2015. Thank you.
Thank you, Liang Ying. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduation ceremony is now adjourned. May I invite all to stand, please. The procession groups will now leave the convention hall. Thank you for your patience. Please join us for the tea reception at the plaza outside the convention center. May I invite parents and guests to leave the convention center first. Please ensure that you have all your belongings. Have a very good day.